Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing the CEO of United Healthcare last December, will be back in a Manhattan courtroom today. His defense team is making the case and some key evidence be thrown out. Joining me now to talk about the hearing is legal analyst Richard Schoenstein. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, just fine. And day one of this hearing featured never-before-seen video of Luigi's arrest at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Mangione's attorneys argue he was never read his Miranda rights and that police conducted a warrantless search of his backpack at the scene. How strong do you think their case is?
So I think it's a little bit mixed. Let's talk first about the Miranda warnings. There is a limited amount of statements that the prosecution wants to put in before Mangione was Mirandized. So there's not really anything significant that comes before the Miranda warning. The big thing I think they're trying to get in is the fact that he allegedly gave a false identification when he was first approached by the police. That does not necessarily require a Miranda warning. The police don't have to walk up to him and immediately launch into Miranda. They're entitled to speak to him first, just not to go into any kind of questioning about the case before Miranda. So I think the prosecution is going to be okay there. And then on the bag, the question is whether the police had reasonable grounds to search the bag, even though they didn't have a warrant. And what they're saying, what the prosecution is contending, is that there was concern there might be a bomb or some other kind of weapon in the bag, and they had to look. That seems like logical justification to me.
The defense is also arguing against non-eyewitness identification testimony at trial. So what is their reasoning for that?
So to allow someone who wasn't at the scene, I mean, basically what the prosecution wants to do is play the video that supposedly shows Mangione at the scene or at other scenes, and then to have a live witness say, that's him, that's the guy, that's the defendant, even though they weren't there at the time. And in order to do that, they have to get somebody who is familiar enough with the defendant that their testimony would assist the jury in figuring out that really is him depicted in the video. They can't just, put you or me on the stand who don't know him better from anybody else and say, does that look like him to you? That wouldn't be helpful to the jury. So they have to establish for the judge that there's a reasonable basis to put a witness on to do that, even though that witness wasn't at the scene. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to be able to establish that. I want to hear more.
And when will the judge hand down this ruling?
I think the judge is going to, this is a long hearing, right? So we're going to, yesterday, today, I understand it might go for a few more days. And then I think the judge is probably going to take some time to issue a ruling on all of the pending legal matters. These matters are thick with facts and thick with the law. There's going to be a written decision here with citations to the controlling case law. So I suspect that's not going to happen immediately at the end of the hearing, but you'll get a written decision, a few weeks out.
So no trial date is set for his state case. How far are we away from being on the calendar?
Well, I think we're certainly well into 2026 before we get a trial date. If I had to guess, I would say late spring or summer, but it depends on a number of factors, including how far along the discovery exchange of materials is in the case, which I don't know sitting here today. But I would say probably late spring to middle of next year.
Legal analyst Richard Schoenstein, thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
And stay with CBS News New York for the very latest in the Luigi Mangione case. Alice Gaynor will be in the courtroom every day, bringing us real-time updates.